Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
Oh, let's talk about making assumptions about things. So check this out. So it is the day before, at least when I'm recording this, that I'm leaving for Maui. I'm trying to coordinate some things with getting our house cleaned, and we want to get our windows cleaned for a while. We live across the street from the beach, and so we get a lot of ocean air. It gets really sandy. They've not been cleaned yet this year, so we're supposed to have somebody that came by to clean the windows, and they no-showed. And then I call the voicemail. It says, hey, because it's just kind of like a local guy. It's like, hey, I don't check messages till 4 o'clock each day because I'm out working. I don't have time to check messages. And I'm like, all right, great. And I remember before when I connected with this guy, and even though people have said to me like, oh, he's done really great work and stuff, I just have this feeling of like, oh, I don't know if I can count on the guy. Like, he's kind of flaky, and I inquired before and just didn't. I'm like, I just can't find anybody else. Window cleaning where I live in Victoria is very... they're really busy because we have windows that are cleaned year-round and ocean air and lots of homes that have a lot of windows. And so I'm like, when he didn't show up and then I call and leave that message, I'm like, here we go, like flaky, right? So I'm like, okay, not the end of the world. Can't get the windows clean. Deal with it when we get back from Maui, like no biggie. And I get this call as I'm just coming out of my chiropractic appointment now. And they're like, hey, I'm just calling to let you know, like, I'm really sorry. I'm checking the messages. And his name is Doug. Is like, Doug's actually, he had an accident. He's in the hospital right now. And that's why he didn't, he's not showing up. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. It's like, yeah, I'm like, is he okay? No, he's still in the hospital. It's pretty bad. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I'm really sorry. And they're like, oh, I'm really sorry we didn't, because we should have had a team there. And I'm like, listen, it's okay. Like, I get it. It's okay. I should try and get a team of guys out to do the windows this afternoon, but I'm like, listen, the biggest thing I saw for me was this. It is so easy to make assumptions about shit, isn't there? Make assumptions about people. Make assumptions about, experiences that you have. Make assumptions about people's actions or their lack of action. Like, oh, that guy didn't call. He's such a flake. I knew it, blah, 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 blah. I, went to that place of story in my head. And then I find out dude's in the hospital. Like, they're trying to pick up the pieces of the business and the jobs and all this kind of stuff. And assumptions will bury you. Kind of like how expectations will. But assumptions, you assume that you know things, right? You assume that, let's even just say in any kind of relationship, in your marriage, with your children, friends and family, you assume at times, and I've done this before too, this is why I can speak kind of so boldly about it, you assume that the way that someone has showed up is the way that they're always going to show up. Well, you've always done it this way, or you always bring up these things, or this is how you've shown up in the past, right? I can make assumptions today about my son Tyson. He did not have a good sleep. He got up early. I don't really know why, but he got up early. He didn't want to eat anything today. He was in a bad mood because he wanted more iPad time and his time limit was up. I can easily go to assumption of, oh my God, he's going into camp today. This could be a shit show, right? I could go there. Or I could be present in the moment and not let the past enter into the present moment. Not make assumptions about how I think my son will show up or not show up. Assumptions. Like, where are you making assumptions in your life right now about things? Making assumptions about what things mean. Well, people, they're saying this, but what they really mean is this. Or I assume that since they didn't get back to me, it's because they don't like me. It's crazy, right? We have all this past shit from when we were children forward that it is up to us to heal through that. Because the thing is that if we choose to not heal, to not see those patterns, to not start to really break down the stories and uncover all the veils and all of that stuff, Yes, it affects the other people that we interact with in our life, but you know who it affects even more, sister? You, us. If we choose to not move through those experiences by whatever means possible, sometimes it's time and space, sometimes it's meditation, journaling, sometimes it's things like seeing a therapist, sometimes it is doing the work by Byron Katie, sometimes it's simply forgiving and letting go. Like, we all have wounds and experiences and things that have happened to us. And it's not about poor me. And it's not about why did this happen. It's about how do I heal and move through this? How do I become a more whole by using those experiences to actually move me forward? How do I do that? Because if I make assumptions about things in life, and I assume things about other people, and I assume this is the way that the world is, and this is how, things are going to unroll, then our life becomes very limiting. Your worldview becomes very limiting. Because you're making all these, grand assumptions about how you think what she's going to say and what those words actually mean and how that experience is going to go down. And our life is not meant to be limited. It's meant to be limitless. Our life is meant to be expansive. Continuing to be expansive. More and more and more every single day. For you to receive and create more love. For you to give and receive more love, compassion, understanding. More love, more love, more love, more love. Assumptions will not get us there. So here's your more tip for today then, sister. Where is something in your life that you're making an assumption about? Is it with another person? Is it with an experience? Is it with something that happened to you, for you? Like, what is that thing that you're making an assumption about? What is that thing? And the second piece of it is really take a look at that and be like, is this thing that I'm assuming, is it really true? Or am I instead making a story about something and how I think that it's going to be or how I think that it's going to go down? And journal this and really see what insights, what revelations come for you in this experience, and sister. So, finishing up today's episode, a couple things. If you do not already subscribe to the Women Wanting More newsletter, do that right now at drkarenosborn.com/action guide. I'm sending you some cool trainings and be part of the tribe. This isn't about moving through life in isolation, but being part of something. And make sure to subscribe to the podcast and help me help other women be part of a podcast and to be part of this tribe, this movement, this posse of powerful women, and to leave a 5-star review. Listen, there's so many podcasts on iTunes now, which is amazing. I love that. But why would a woman choose to listen to this podcast with everything out there? And listen, I understand and acknowledge this is not for every woman, but it's for a lot of women that when they do find this message and it really resonates with them, it's a big thing. And so I'm going to ask for help in that mission, sister. So to leave a 5-star review, and again, subscribe, and that way you make sure you don't miss an episode. You get all of them delivered to your phone, Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. And then lastly, to take what you're learning here on this podcast to the next step is why I created the Sisterhood. So head over right now to drkarenosborn.com/sisterhood. If this message resonates with you enough and you go, what is next? I want more. The Sisterhood is for you. And you get to try that out for free for the first 7 days. So that's at drkarenosborn.com/sisterhood. So I will talk to the next episode. A Life of More is just one step away from me doing the fucking work every single day. Love and appreciate you, sister.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosborn.com/newsletter.